Hey everyone, welcome back to Jason's Pen Journey. If you're new here, this is where I share my adventures with fountain pens, handwriting, and everything in between. Um, so I wanted to do a video. It's Friday night. I'm not doing anything crazy tonight, so I figured I would do a video. Partly to try out some things on my recording setup side. To be honest, I'm moving things to a new computer, and wanted to make sure everything was working correctly with all the tech. That was actually the motivation for recording tonight. But I figured, hey, there's got to be something I can do that's pen related. So I'll just kind of share with you what I did this earlier this evening, late afternoon. The super nerdy, dorky thing that I spent my day after I finished my work day. It was basically time to clean out my pens. I had way too many things inked up at once. I think the number was 39, and that's just way too many. I can't use that many. One of the things I talked about in my last video was trying to kind of stay focused on one pen at a time, as my at home writer, in addition to my the ones that I take with me to work. So I said, you know what, time to clean out almost everything else that wasn't this. So I wound up cleaning out 21 pens, and still had 18 left that were inked up, and that seemed kind of crazy too, but I wanted to keep them inked up. So I wanted to show you a little bit of what I cleaned, and then I'll show you what I kept. That's basically what the video will be. So let me just switch over to the other camera here so we can see it. So one of the things I did is I had a whole bunch of um, Lamy Safaris and a Pelican Style and a couple of Pilot Metropolitans that were all needed to be cleaned. So there were 5 total Lamy Safaris, 1 Pelican Style, 2 Pilot Metropolitans. Here's the bodies from all of them. Those will be easy to put back together once those nibs dry. And then those were all cartridge pens, so really easy to dispose of the cartridge. And I know some people will clear the cartridges out and reuse them, but I have plenty of cartridges left, so I wasn't super worried about that. Then I kind of took everything else that I had inked up and went through it and said, if this isn't not something I plan on using a lot in the next couple of weeks, let me clean it out. So 2 Diplomat Vipers, the ones I inked up just recently in a video that I did. So those are now cleaned. A couple of really not fancy, but funky nibs that I had from one of my local pen club friends. So he'd given me this Fude nib on a sailor, and then his own kind of custom grind. That was what I call Randy's custom Fude. So cleaned both of those out. I'll use those at some point, but I know I'm not going to use them a whole lot immediately, so time to clean them out and just get them out of the way. A couple of Leonardos that I'd this one I got at the pen show last month, and one that I had custom ground at the pen show. And then what I've had inked up for quite a while is the Enso Bolt. Sorry, let's get that on camera. And I was just, it was pretty low on ink, so I said, let's just clean it and put it aside. We've got plenty of other things that are already inked up, so we don't need it. Let's see, what else? One more Leonardo that got a custom grind recently at the pen show. 2 of the Carolina Pen Company ones that I had custom ground at the pen show as well. So a lot of, maybe what you're hearing is a lot of the custom grind ones I'm kind of putting aside for the time being. I want to give those a little more time in the sun when the time is right, that I can really kind of practice with them, because they do take some getting used to for me and my writing style. And then lastly, 3 more kind of fancy material ones. So Henry's Woodcraft, the Ryan Krusek Legend, made from the moose antler with the wood, and then Arushi Studios India. So these are all gorgeous pens. Nothing wrong with them. I I know I'm not giving them the time of day right now and wanted to clear some things out. So then what I will show you, so this is the little rickshaw carrying case 6-pen case that I take to work with me on a daily basis. And so what will be going in here or stay in here are 3 pilots. So pilot 743, 823, and vanishing point. So those are kind of permanent fixtures in the rotation. The Lamy 2000 stainless steel, another permanent one in the rotation. The Gravitas Monster has become, in a very short order, one that's permanently in rotation. I've actually been using this quite a bit. It was inked up. Let's see if I can get this metal pen guy friend. So this had been inked up to about here on the first fill. It's now down to just above the bottom. So I've been, had used it a ton, and it's still just got massive capacity left. So those are the ones that are kind of everyday already, and then I also have the Kaweco Lilliput that goes with me in my pocket. So this is my pocket pen. It's super tiny. You can see it's barely the length of my middle finger, a little longer than my middle finger. So those are kind of permanent ones, those 6. And then what I'm adding to the list is the Loritz stealth thread. I'm going to add that. So, there's definitely a theme of the pilots and the metal pens that'll, kind of a little more rugged. So, good ink capacity on a couple of these, and can be carried around really easily. So those are just kind of permanently inked up at this point. And then you saw probably this on my last video with the Pen Squally. So that one's still inked up. I'm still using that. That'll definitely stay in the day. I've basically used it every day since I got the new fine nib replacing the broad nib that had accidentally been sent previously. So I've been using that the last few days, pretty much exclusively at home. That's going to stay going the way it's been going. Also, staying at home, a few Lamy All Stars, so just a few different colors: the mint, the aubergine, and the denim. So those are just kind of permanently on my desk because they're just easy to carry around the house and not worry about damaging them. I've also been loving the Asvine C80s to the point where I wound up getting 3 of them in different colors. Wow, that blue one is just the glitter that's showing up on the screen here is amazing. It's just gorgeous. But they're all number 8 nibs and super smooth. So I got them in the kind of blue green, the purple, and the brown gold. And these are just fun to write with. And those are just kind of sitting on my desk as well. And then a few other ones that are staying inked up. So the Platinum 3776 Century in Mountain Mist is, I think, the finest tipped writer that I have. So it's really close to an extra fine. And I use this in my daily 10-year diary entries because I want to try to fit as much as possible on 5 short lines. So this allows me to write as small as anything. So this is always staying inked up and staying on my desk at home. A couple others that I've relatively recently got. This was the Navaler Nautilus black titanium with a 14 karat nib. Just love this one. And I put the Ackerman number 5 shocking blue, and I just love that ink, and it's such a fun writer. So that one's staying in the rotation. I kind of debate on that one if that goes to work with me or not. At the moment, I'm not, just because I'm going to put the Loritz into the rotation instead. But this one has been something I take with me to work as well. Again, kind of staying with the titanium body, the metal body is something that I kind of emphasize when I'm taking things to work, aside from the pilots. And then the last 2 that I'm keeping inked up right now, this is the Mondu Stefanu. Yes, Mundu. Mundu. I'll check my notes to make sure I'm not saying that wrong. Mundu Stefanu. Um, uh, it's a matte finish. I just really kind of love this one. I got this at the pen show last month, and I put the wearing gold black tulip ink in it, and it's just a fun writer. It's this matte finish. It's heavy. It reminds me a lot like a Leonardo in the way it's designed, and I just kind of really love the feel of it. It's got a little ink window, like a Leonardo Memento Zero Grande 2.0 with the ink window. It's just a lot of fun to write with. So keeping that one inked up. And then lastly, the Atelier Lusso. I'm gonna get the name wrong if I don't look it up. This is a mouthful. Atelier Lusso Carina Ragazzone Il Re with a root beer and copper striped body. It's absolutely gorgeous. I fell in love with it at the show and couldn't, I kept eyeing it and walked away, and I was afraid it was going to get snatched up without, out from under me. It was one of a kind, and bought it and love it, and it's staying inked up. So those are the ones that are currently inked up, and that's hopefully going to be it for a bit. Except I did succumb to buying a couple of new things on Amazon today, or not today, a couple of days ago when I was placing another larger order for some other stuff for home, and I decided to get these Asvine C2000s. These are in what's called the stabilized wood. So this is the Oasis model, and this is the Sunset model. So these are, relatively cheap. They're $39, I think, is what I paid for them on Amazon, and they come with this giant number 8 nib that is hopefully a lot like the C80s that I brought in before in terms of how they write, but it is a very different body material. It's a stabilized wood, so it's going to be hopefully a different writing experience, at least in the way the body holds up. So looking forward to trying those out, but I'm gonna restrain myself from inking them up until at least the end of the weekend, and maybe these will be the two that I spend a bunch of time with next week after giving the pen squally its fair due. So that's what I've got in the hopper right now, and that's about it. So a lot of stuff that's now clean and drying and ready to be put away, and kind of take a rest for a little while before they come back out. And then I still have a bunch more from the pen show that I bought and have not touched yet. They have not been inked up at all, and they need to get some some test run as well. So I'm gonna try to keep the number below the number of things that are inked below 20. Well, no, because I already had 18, and then I've got two more that I'm gonna try to keep it at 20, 20 max, and we'll see how long that lasts. Probably um, by the time people watch this video, I will have succumbed and gotten to the point where I'm at 20 with the Asvine C2000s, and maybe by midweek I'll have fallen further off the wagon and inked up even more. So stay tuned for that. I'll keep you all posted. So with that, that's all I had today. I'm gonna hit save on this recording. Do any post processing, drop my logos and all that in, and make sure everything works okay, and then I'll post it up on YouTube. And as always, definitely if you like what you see in terms of the content, hit the like button. Leave me a comment if you have any questions about what I'm showing you, or you want to just make fun of me for how many pens I had inked up. That's a signal to you, my brother Mark. Feel free to make fun of me, because I know you will. Now's the cue. So leave a comment, ask questions, leave comments. Tell me that I'm crazy for having so many things inked up, and I'll get back to you on that. And then if you like this kind of content, please hit the subscribe button on my channel. That does help the other folks who are interested in pen content, fountain pens, inks, paper, stationery, handwriting, all that stuff that I'm kind of starting to focus on with the channel. It'll help surface the content to other folks through the YouTube algorithm. So again, thank you everybody for watching. Like, subscribe, leave comments, and have a great day and happy writing.